So feeling, I'm just going to give you just definitions of what feeling is. Feeling is a sense, or feeling is the ability to have sensation, right? And feeling also could be misleading at times. So, for example, I'm going to give you examples.
That's right.
When you're lifting weights, and you say you do like 5 push-ups a day, right? Your max is 5. Your body's capable of doing 6, but your mind limits you to doing 5 only. When you get to 5, you're tired. Another example would be when you're hungry. After like 7 hours at most, your stomach tells you, hey, it's time to eat. Like, where's the food at? We need some food in our body. When actually you can go a whole week with just drinking water. So your mind is misleading yourself when you say feeling. So we're going to go back to it. You're going to see how this all ties in together. So we're going to talk about what is feeling lonely. What is feeling lonely? Well, my definition of feeling lonely is like when the odds are stacked against you. When everything's going wrong, you're against the wall, 5 people coming at you, like, what are you doing? It's when you're looking in the face of doubters and what they say seems true. So that's basically like walking in a hallway and everybody's saying you got baggy sweatpants on and you slow and you soft and all of this. And that may be true. That's what feeling lonely is. You're alone. You don't have anybody on your side at that moment. I could relate this to Tim Tebow. I thought that was a great example of what feeling lonely was. Tim Tebow, his story is he's in college, he's the man. When he goes to the pros, the scouts are saying, oh, Tim Tebow can't throw. That's true. He can't throw. He has terrible mechanics. Tim Tebow, he has a whole bunch of issues. They don't think he's a quarterback. They think he's a tight end. So how is it possible that Tim Tebow can go, get drafted in the NFL, wait his turn, and then lead his team throughout the playoffs? How is that possible? Anybody have an idea of how that's possible?
He believes in himself.
Believes in himself. Anything else?
He's confident.
Confident.
He's on his knees.
Yeah,
Man knows God.
Amen. Tim Tebow is connected. Tim Tebow is connected. Tim Tebow is connected. That's how he's so successful. What does John have to say about this? Or Joshua about that? This is from the book, the Bible itself. Keep this book of law always on your lips. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you will be prosperous and successful. Keyword: prosperous and successful. When you go back to this, you see Tim Tebow on his famous position on one knee, submitting to God. You see him, when you see on his face him crying, he's so faithful. He has John 3:16 written on his forgot what it's called, the eye markers. Tim Tebow's faithful. He's connected with God. Okay, have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord, your God will be with you wherever you go. Tim Tebow is never lonely. Tim Tebow is connected. Another type of like metaphor I could say with this is it's talking about your phone. Wherever you go, if you're a teenager, first thing you get to when you get somewhere is you ask, what's the Wi-Fi password? What's the Wi-Fi? That's a fact. That's a fact. You can't live without your phone, right? You cannot live without your phone. In order to use your phone, you gotta have access to the apps. In order to have that, you need Wi-Fi. So you ask, what's the Wi-Fi password? But it's ironic that we need the phone so much, and that when we go through struggles throughout our life, how we don't look for God when He's our Wi-Fi. If that makes sense.
Yeah, yes, it does.
That's powerful.
When I came here, for whatever need, I needed to give this presentation. I asked Dad, what's the Wi-Fi? I got the Wi-Fi in 5 seconds. But when we go through any type of struggle, we're not looking for God first. We're not connected.
What do we do when we get a connection, but that connection is not a good connection?
Yo, we'll
You're
go.
trying to download something, and the little thing keeps sitting. I'm doing my Valerie impression now, you know, and everybody, speaks, waxes eloquently, and she said, what about those people that can't pray?
Go ahead, Pete.
They can't cry out.
Imitate me, imitate.
They're only getting a little dot. They're not getting all the bars. They're getting a little dot. You know what I'm saying?
Danny, you got this in here. You want to go in order, don't you?
Yeah, I
And
would.
at the end, you will take questions. Did you catch that, Pete? He's got this on his paper, and at the end, he will take questions.
Oh, okay.
We can have discussion throughout.
I was wondering why you were so quiet. It's a Holmes thing. I wouldn't understand.
I mean, we can conversate or we can have discussions throughout. That's what I want. So if you have any questions or you want
So
to say,
I mean,
So his question.
I completely agree with you, but I'll use your part as a perfect example. I think he knew all these things, but that current situation, when he, back then when we were, you guys was his world, period. So he knew, but that didn't make him feel good. I mean, he still was. He come back 2-3 days later. I said, hey man, I was talking all spiritual. God is your rock. He'll hide you in the secret place. He'd be like, I'm tired of being in the place. The point is, I agree with you. So, just from your perspective, when that connection isn't what you would like it to be. Because sometimes you got the Wi-Fi, you got the password.
well, sometimes I think that Wi-Fi, if you have a connection, you have a connection. I think that the connection can get stronger. I think that when you're searching for a connection like this, when you're searching for one, eventually, if you have a connection on the phone, eventually you're going to hit a spot, and that spot is going to give you the full range of connection. So eventually, if you keep building on faith and talking, we'll get to it later throughout the presentation. God show you how, but eventually you'll have that connection that you want when you keep searching. Just like when we get the phone and we have no Wi-Fi, and we ask what's the password, and we're still looking, we're looking.
But sometimes you got it closer.
Yeah,
It could be a distance, it could be location.
Yeah, that's what I mean by looking. You can
What
go
I
throughout
like about your metaphor is that if you're not connected, it's not because the Wi-Fi isn't strong, it's because you're not close to your access point.
Yes. It's about your
It's
position.
about
Your positioning,
not the
yeah.
Wi-Fi.
That's a good example.
So I love that metaphor.
Yeah, I love it. I never thought about it.
So then I said, look for God as if He was our Wi-Fi, and the Happy Life is our app. So look for God as if He's the Wi-Fi, and your life is the app, like a Happy Life. Like I said, we want the Wi-Fi so we can use the apps. If the apps is happiness, we want God so we can be happy. If that makes sense. Seek and you will find. Okay. So we're going to talk about feeling lonely. Because we are not connected, we feel lonely because we're not connected. But why do we feel lonely? So 2 reasons for being lonely simply are silence through the trials. So when God doesn't leave you, He never leaves you. It's in the Word 3 times at least 3 times that I picked up. God silences Himself through trials. So when you're going through your trials and tribulations, everybody goes through it. If you haven't, then I don't know if you're human. You will go through it. You will go through it eventually, sometime in your life.
Keep on.
Yeah, you're gonna go through it. So this happened in the Bible. It says every test that you have experienced is the kind that normally comes to people. But God keeps his promise. He will not allow you to be tested beyond your power to remain firm. At the time you are put to the test, he will give you the strength to endure it and so provide you a way out. So what that means is God's not going to give you nothing you can't handle. Any type of pain you're in right now, feeling lonely, blah blah. You can handle it. It can be dealt with. You can handle it. He's not abandoning you. You're never lonely. You can't be lonely. It's impossible. You must have faith, because you must have faith in God is silent. That's the time. In the review sheets, it says God is usually silent to us when we are free. I mean, when we are.
Where are you? Sorry.
Under feeling lonely, number one.
Thank you.
Lonely Bob.
God is usually silent to us when we are in a trial. So my faith in God is what is being tried and proven. When God is silent, the enemy will come and play upon our fears. The suggestion would be that God is not with us. That's what we think. God is not with us when the devil is tempting us. So that's when the doubt is coming. That's when the doubt is saying, "Oh, you're soft, you're weak, you're not doing this." That's what the devil's saying when you're going through your trials. And then you're looking at it like it's the actual fact. Like, I'm looking at my clothes like, I do got on some baggy sweatpants on. What is that about? And then so you think God is literally not your boy at that moment. Like, normally when you walk through a hallway, high school, you got your boys with you. You think they abandoned you. You think God has left you. Like, God, why is what they're saying true about me? What is that about?
But hold on, man. Didn't you say that it is true? You said in the trial, and the trial is true. Where your position is at that moment is true. You can be unemployed. You can be going through a marriage breakup. You can be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The doubters say.
So the doubt is true sometimes.
The doubters, what they say is true. That's what it says. It says what the doubters say is true.
Are the doubters doubting the truth of your situation or your ability to get through it?
The truth of the situation, not the ability to get through it. They don't know that.
So they don't know whether or not you can get through. They don't know whether or not I can get through my trial or
No,
not.
they don't know.
All they see is the outside.
All they see is what you doing when you walk.
But they sure will say something.
That's
Oh, okay, so can I say one thing? And I know I'm buttoning your thing. I gotta talk about my favorite movie, 8 Mile. The best movie ever. Y'all
All
have
the
seen
movies
it.
that have gotten Oscars.
8 miles, Eminem, right?
It's worth the look.
Eminem?
Yeah, it's worth the look.
Eminem.
But at the very end of this movie, my favorite, I know it's strange. At the very end of this movie, it's my favorite scene when Eminem's boy comes to him and says, "What are you going to do when you get into this battle with this guy?" And he's going to talk about your situation. And M says, "What are you talking about?" And the guy says, "Man, you know, I got shot in the foot, and you do live in a trailer park." And
Oh,
you do-
yeah.
And he starts talking about his real situation. And you did get kicked out of your house, and your clothes were in a green trash bag in the dumpster, and that's where you keep them, so people won't steal it when you're in the shelter. All of that stuff was factual. And your girlfriend did get jumped, and all these guys slept with your girl. All of that was fact. And M got on stage, and he had to battle, and he spoke truth, not to his opponent who he was battling with, but to the audience who was listening to him rap his lifestyle, and they loved it. I love that scene. That's pretty much, in a way, what you're saying here. When everything about what they're saying about you is true. I love that movie. Y'all gotta see that part. But you know what I'm saying. Okay, I'm sorry.
Eminem was lonely throughout that movie.
Yeah, he was.
He didn't have his mother. He lost his girlfriend at one point. His boys weren't on his side. Somebody turned on him. He was living in a trailer park that was getting evicted. An evicted trailer park.
Wow.
That's pretty low. Yeah, that's pretty low.
Right.
You hit the bottom of the barrel when you get evicted from the trailer.
That's pretty low. And then everybody knew it. Everybody knew his problems and what he was going through. And so people would clown him on it because it was true. Like, it was no joke about it. It was actually a fact. So they would clown him about it. So he's, at the end, what my mom was saying, he says, you know what? That's right. You're all right. So, like, what's the point? Because I'm laughing at it too. And then he clowns the other guy. So back to this, it says, the suggestion would be that God is not really with us. And the silence is the proof of it. That's God in silence. The silence of God is proof that he's not with us. That's what we think. Mm-hmm. And the questioning and the doubting will arise. Most of us would just like God to come down and simply tell us what to do in these situations. So most of us would be like, can't you just give it to me? Just give me the code, the answers. Give me the answers to the test, please, Lord. That's what most of us will say. Silence never means that God's not there. Silence is the test of obedience. Silence never means that God is not there. Silence is the test of obedience. It is an indication that you are now expected to make a decision. A decision based on the sufficient knowing of his will. The reason he does not speak is because he has already spoken.
Right now. Those last 4 sentences were so bad.
Hold on for a second. So can I get that?
You got
Silence is a test of obedience.
Yeah.
Silence is a test of obedience. It is an indication that you are now expected to make a decision. A decision based on the sufficient knowing of his will. The reason he does not speak is because he has already spoken. Silence means that you already know enough.
All right, look.
All right, little boy.
No, you gotta let him finish.
Go ahead, end that
Now
paragraph.
it is simply time to act.
Because what he's saying is God has already given the word.
God is already
told you
What to do.
And you know what his word says. So
Let's
you
do
know
it.
what his word says.
That comes back when I'm saying the connection that you need. The connection is the key. That's the test right there. Connection. You build connection. I'm going to talk about it later, but you build connection through prayer and conversating with God. I'm in the study groups or whatever. But praying, just having, you don't even have to, simple conversations with God himself builds connection through time. He already knows you. It's not like you meeting him for the first time. He knows you.
You have a history.
Yeah. You already,
You know, it's funny, reflecting back on what you just now stated, in a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about ducks and eagles. I remember riding home when I was in prison, and it was, I told my mom I've never felt so alone in my house. I mean, I'm surrounded by 1,200 people, but I'm alone. I mean, people who pretty much felt like they were like me because we both, all of us were locked up. All of us confined. But I wasn't like them. I knew I wasn't. You know, some of the things they talked about wasn't me. Things that they did wasn't me. And I felt like they were ducks. Just walking around, walking all day long. And I was an eagle, set apart. And I felt like I had a choice. And the choice was either to continue to be an eagle and soar, or convert to a duck.
it is the indication that you are now expected to make a decision.
Correct. And I had to make that decision.
Yes.
And that decision made me who I am today, because if I hadn't, I would have came home wilding like the rest of them. Not being able to see long distances, not being able to speak, you know, like an eagle, or fly like an eagle. But I think the sad part about it is to be surrounded by people
And still be.
and be alone.
Yeah. Or at least feel.
I mean, because I was an outcast. I mean, you be a person, you know, in prison with prisoners all around you, and all of them like, you know, you're not one of them.
Yeah. Wow.
But you know, let me expound on one more thing, Daniel, to speed up for Brian. Brian, we you see what it says feeling lonely? Why?
We're under number
Yes.
1.
Okay. I got this circle, Daniel, and I got because this is really something we all have to really think about. God is usually silent when we're going through a trial. That's the first thing. And then he said, most of us would just like God to come down and simply tell us what to do in a situation.
Yeah.
But then the
Answer to the test.
and you say silence never means that God's not there. Silence is a test of obedience. That's pretty strong.
But this is so good. And I'm like, boy, Holy Spirit just put this on paper for us, right? So, because even that second sentence says, it is an indication that you are now expected to make a decision based on the sufficiency of knowing that what God's will is. He's already given us the answer. He's already spoken and told us what we're to do in a certain situation.
Amen.
And we're asking him to tell us what he's already told us.
Again.
And he's like, I'm not speaking to you. I have said all I'm going to say on this matter.
See, Kevin?
Make a decision.
Take the test.
All that
Take the test.
all that put in your spirit and bullets. It all culminated in that one sentence. Because that's a powerful sentence.
Yeah.
A decision based off of a sufficient knowing. See, that made me want to get Baptist up in here. Because sufficient means that he's already given you all that you need. That word, that one adjective. Not know, because see, you can just knowing. No, sufficient knowing.
Right.
You know, I mean, not marginalized, but every single thing. And you know what came to me when he was talking was, I remember one time I went to my father and asked him, for what reason, I don't know, do you want me to take the trash out? And my father came out. This was not God. I mean, he went off on me. And I'm not going to use the terminology he used, but his point was, you don't have to ask me to do something that you already know is what you're supposed to be doing.
That's right.
So he actually got upset that I asked the question. And sometimes, boy, you preached today. You redeemed your father because he'll have everybody crying and then he'll jet off. We won't know yet. Crying and blessing. But that isn't simply the time to act. That's a major statement, because some people die. You know, Valerie talks about all these things. Some people die on the vine simply because they did not ask. And that's all he wants.
Just because they didn't ask.
He's silent, but he's silent because he's observing you.
And then Daniel went on and answered the question. Well, why isn't God talking to me? The reason he does not speak is because he's already spoken.
Yes. He's already spoken.
Now I'm gonna double dutch out of this, because you know the home will get to, oh Daniel. But no, this was awesome, man. I mean, this was awesome. That one sentence, I'm gonna highlight that sentence.
We are talking about the beauty of feeling lonely. The beauty of feeling lonely. And like that's a big topic. So when you say the beauty of feeling lonely, like you're not feeling lonely, like I said, feelings are misleading. It's a sense. So you're sensing that God's not there. You feel lonely, like you're sensing that you're lonely. But the beauty of it, which refers back to the irony, is that he is there. So number two of why, two reasons for being lonely, is we don't even talk to God. We don't ask for his help. That's simple. It's that simple. We'll go through.
Call everybody else first.
This is. I can say this. I go to my parents first, siblings, family, friends, your teacher, your other half. You go to yourselves, try to figure out yourselves. You go to the internet, Google, YouTube, WorldStar, Twitter, Instagram. You trying to look everywhere but the textbook itself, or him himself. Like if your teacher gives you the test, hands you the test, and say, Daniel, hey, you can cheat on this test. You can go ahead and cheat. You can use me, or you can use these other misleading sources. Because I have the book in the back. I say, I'm going to use these other sources real quick. And I'll come to you last. Whitney? We ask our parents, siblings, friends, family, teachers, ourselves, internet, Instagram, Twitter. We use all of those for answers, and God should be our first resort, not our last.
First, not last.
So my question is, how come we resort to God last and not first? Are we scared? What is
Dumb. We want instant gratification, and that's a bad thing sometimes. I know I personally don't want to wait for the answer. I want it now. I need it now. So if I say something to God,
You don't get answers.
you know, get answers. So then I'm call you on the phone, call you, I'm start calling everybody. So I think, unfortunately, the bad habit is I start going to you, friends, my parents, my siblings, my family. So
I think that it also ties into the first reason. I really think we need to go to God first. He should be the first resort for everything. Minor problems, major problems, small, big, large, doesn't matter. God should be the first person should be our first resort, not our last.
Can I just add to that? I agree with you wholeheartedly. You should go to God first because usually He will confirm what He has already told you through your parents, siblings, family, people, things. You're going to get your confirmation, and that's really what you're seeking because God's not tangible. He's not, I'm not sure, He's not right here with me or whispering in my ear or something. So a lot of times, that's why. And we have to make sure, did we first go to God or did we go to everybody else before Him? What's the order? And then put it back in order so that you can get your confirmation to make sure you're going that right path.
And when we say, like you were saying, and like Mr. Ernest was saying, that we want to ask God. I mean, we want to ask God for the answers, and we're expecting an answer like right away. I think that's one of the main reasons why we don't go to God first, because we want everything in the now. Like, I need to hear it now. Well, I know what I'm hearing. Like, I know what you're telling me. I want to hear it now. So I think that's the major reason why He's our last resort. But He needs to become our first.
I missed that, man. Repeat that, I'm sorry. What you say? Just what you just said.
I'm saying, like I said, when I say this reason of why we don't go, why we're lonely, is because I said it ties into the first reason when we ask and it says, God come down to simply tell us what to do in situations. Like we want to hear now, and we might not get that. So we refer to everybody else before we actually go to God Himself, and that's a major problem.
I think another thing is that sometimes, I was made that point about my father, but when they came and stole everything from I and took the women and children, you would think, and the mighty men wanted to kill David, you would think it would be a no-brainer for him to say, let's go pursue these guys and get our stuff back. But he didn't even do that. The first thing he did was ask God, should he do it, right? So I think your point is well taken that I think we shouldn't even, it should just be automatic to ensure that, what we're doing is what God wants us to do, whether we're in the test, in the trial, or out of the trial, right? Because I think we shouldn't wait till we're in the trial to do that. That's my real point. We should be doing that in all things that we do.
And the beauty about being lonely or feeling lonely, the beauty about feeling lonely is that we're never lonely. So when God is with you 24/7, 365, why are you going to other people who's not there when God is right by your side and He's watching, observing, He sees the whole thing. So why not go to Him first?
Because the mind, because what you start off with is feeling. You said feeling is a sense. The mind is misleading. So when you're by yourself and God is silent and God has already spoken, and then you're in the test, that's a tough thing.
Well, who said that you can't use, like I said, what did I say? When I said, who do we ask for? When we have who do we ask first? If God is with you all the time, even though he's silent, God is capable of doing everything. God will give you the answer. If it's not going to be, it might not be no firework in your face, but God will give you an answer.
He'll lead you right.
Yeah, he'll lead you down to the.
I understand it, but when you're in the midst of a trial, like Job, I'm just talking about Kevin Holmes right now. But I'm not even trying to go that biblical. I'm just going to me right now. But when you're in the midst of a trial, the first thing you know what's funny? I always use this when I was, it was in Bible studies, and I think I remember the first Bible study we had was the very first thing you do when you get pregnant is you take a Lamaze class, and you talk about breathing, because you've been breathing your entire life. But when you're in the midst of a delivery, the first thing you forget is how to breathe. It's the same thing. We know God. And that's where, I guess, where saints come in. That's where your faith comes in. That's where you need to be studying regularly and reading regularly. Because you forget. You forget your source. Even if God doesn't speak to us audibly, we still have our Bible in our hand. We can go to the back, we have an index. And the more we get familiar with his word, he'll bring a scripture to your remembrance. That's what happens as you start becoming more mature. But first you have to put something in order to get something out. If you don't have any recollection and you're on E, you're in trouble. You follow what I'm saying?
So how do the beginners take advantage of that?
You know what? I'm gonna ask this question. I gotta say this. I'm gonna ask this question. Here's how God works. I'm excited about this one, how God works. Today, I'm running up to Advanced Auto to go get something for my car. And I have an issue with my car burning oil. Not all the time, just sometimes. It just burns, it doesn't drip on the ground, it just burns sometimes. So, I am prepared. I have a 5-gallon tub of oil in my trunk. And as I'm getting ready to turn, here comes this brother running across this entrance right out here with a t-shirt on and jeans, sweat. And he's waving me down. I didn't know whether to lock my door or not. I put the window down. He said, yo man, can I get a ride up to the gas station because my car broke down and I don't have any oil. I looked around, I didn't see a car. I wasn't going to give him a ride, and then all of a sudden I remembered I had oil in my car. So I said, I'll tell you what, go back to your car, I'll meet you there. He looked at me, I said, I got oil in the back. He doesn't know me, and I don't know him. But I go through the light, and I make a U, go back down north, and make a U-turn and come back. And there's his truck. Truck broke down. Here's what I want to tell you, what Daniel just said. What you just asked me. For beginners, you may not have oil in your truck. You may be on empty, but God will always send a supply. I had a whole tub of oil in my car. He didn't even have enough money to buy enough oil. His tank, he had completely run on E. But yet, I had enough for him to fill up and get home. And I burned up his engine. He didn't know me, and I didn't know him. But I was prepared, and God worked it out. So you may not have knowledge of Scripture, but you know Valerie, or you know Tommy, or you know me, or Patrick. God will send somebody to you in your time of need.
Oh,
This is something.
also,
Oh, go ahead.
also, you asked me what do you do when you're a child, right?
Uh-huh.
I also said at the bottom of the page, it says, know that it is temporary. God gives you nothing you can't handle. He will provide you the strength to endure the pain and provide you with a gateway out. That means that whatever the trial is, even though he's silent, You have the strength. He's not going to give you nothing that you can't handle or take. So you have the strength to go through it, whatever decision you have made in that time of silence. He'll give you the strength to endure it, and he'll provide you a gateway out. So you're safe.
But James, something else that you said, and Jordan, I have one question too. Something else you said too at the beginning, the analogy that you use of Wi-Fi, and how sometimes, you know, I got this new iPhone 6 that I can barely turn on. I don't know how to use it. But sometimes, you know, you walk into a space and you get the Wi-Fi connection, and your signal is still weak for some reason. Doesn't mean that the signal's not there. I'm just not getting the connection, and I have to reposition myself in order to get a stronger connection through the Wi-Fi. I think with God, sometimes that's even with beginners. You know, you read and you're studying, you're getting closer to Him, you're getting a stronger connection, even though life is jacked, right? But the more and more you study, the more time we spend with one another, the stronger that signal gets, and sooner or later, you can connect to your apps. I love that analogy, so that was a good one.
Well, I mean, my question has always been, why do people, when their connection, or if they don't feel like they're getting the word or message from God that they're looking for, they think it's something wrong with them, or it's a personal issue, as if they have sin in their life and they have to, you know, fast or repent, or just so they can get that connection back again. Is that true?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I have a lot of friends that they always say to me, you know, I ask them what, you know, you would think that simply asking, what has God said to you would be an easy thing for people who are Christians, but it's not. A lot of times they are, I'm not hearing from God. And I never ever say, you ain't hearing from God in this sin in your life. But Lord, no. I am not in a position to talk like that to anybody. You know, I'm just like, man, I'm praying for these, yo. Son, you know, but let me just say this. What I found is because, you know, those of us, you guys that are close to me know that, you know, I am no Pastor Jenkins. But what I am is honest. I try to be real about situations. What I've learned about God is that it's not sin that is the problem with. It's dishonesty. It's lack of transparency. David was a whore and a murderer. I mean, let's be clear. David was trifling.
Yes, he was.
You trifling when your people in battle, you up chilling in the palace, you see somebody fine wife, and you scheme to get that, and then have no kill.
Yeah.
You trifling.
That's right.
But guess what? God has recorded in Scripture that this is a man after his own heart. You know why? Because what you do is not the issue with God. It's how you react to what you do. If you hide it, if you try to act like you didn't do anything, that's when God gets upset with you. You know, you gotta hurry up and say, I messed up.
An example of that is in Genesis, right?
Yeah.
So God is walking with Adam in the cool of the day, and they're having conversation. They're communing with one another. They're just shooting the breeze, naming animals, naming plants, chilling, right? And so
no snow, nothing.
Right.
72 degrees.
Right. And so, you know, we go down and Eve and the whole bit and the apple, and God says, here's what I want you to do, and they break this rule, and God comes on the scene after they've sinned. And those jokers are hiding.
But guess what?
And God says, Adam, where are you?
But watch
never hidden from
it. The hiding wasn't the issue. It was his response.
Yes.
The hiding, because God okay when you get scared. But what he said to him was, no. He said, how do you know you're naked?
Right.
Watch it. And then he don't say, God, I messed up.
Right.
He'll be in God right now chilling.
Yeah.
No toilet or nothing. But instead of that, he said,
it's the woman
that
you.
woman you
she,
married.
it ain't even that he married the woman. It's that God
That's what he said.
Your fault. That's what he said. You know what? God said, oh, you got to get up out of here. I think he would have been good if he would have when he said God. And I feel God. That's what that's my, when you blame me for something you did, you got to go.
You gotta go.
Also know that they didn't know about the sin. Eve didn't know about it. It wasn't until Adam ate the apple.
Yeah. And he never asked about
He
Eve.
was fine with it.
Yeah.
But that whole point that I was making had to do more with that whole connection thing.
Yeah.
And God knowing who we are,
Yeah.
how we're made. He knew all that was going to happen before it happened and still made provisions for us anyway. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? He got us out anyway.
Even when he put him out, he already had it.
I have a question or a reflection. Isn't it interesting? You know, if you all, I take tests really well. I don't know if anybody are great test takers. I'm a great test taker. But I help people study for tests who are not. So they get test anxiety. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. They know all the information. I can quiz them. They got it. They go into the room, it's trying to take a test, and they are beyond retardation. They can't even read the first line.
That's true.
That's like us. All of us,
Yes.
as Christians,
Yes.
when we get in a storm, and it is, when I went to Bermuda, there was a hurricane on the cruise ship, which is why I won't ever go on a cruise ship again. But there was a hurricane in the Bermuda Triangle at pitch black night, and I stepped out on the balcony, which I was happy to have, and then I wasn't because there was a balcony and it was a hurricane, and it was pitch black. And in the pitch blackness, all you could see was clear waves. They do have a color in pitch black. Clear waves. And it occurred to me, now I know why the disciples woke up Jesus. Because they knew all the answers. We are prepared. Us that are not babies in Christ are prepared for the storm. But when we start getting tossed, like I started seeing pitch black and the deck was closed on the 4th level and you couldn't get in the pool, everything that I knew, had heard, went out the water, went out the window, and I had test anxiety.
Yeah.
And I think as Christians, we get anxiety because if God is with us, my counselor said to me when I went to Chicago, I said, well, I'm going to Chicago. I got $3,500 saved, no friends and no family. I said, but I'm going to make it. He said, now I want you to remember that don't mean you might not be homeless some days. When we're Christians, we think if God's with us, it shouldn't be uncomfortable.
That's amazing. And what you said ties into what Dan was saying, because even though they were in the boat and it was tossing to and fro, both situations, one when they were in the boat and Jesus was asleep, he was there.
He was
And
in the
other
boat.
situation was when he was out there, and they were both situations, and it was just all about their perspective.
Their perspective.
You know what? We really hit on something, because sometimes when you are, because what Dan may hit on later is that one of the problems that happen to us is when we get lonely, we sense we're lonely, we, instead of looking for the Wi-Fi, because there's two things you can do. You can start trying to get close to the Wi-Fi, or you can stay where you at and complain about the bad connection.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what some people do. They upset because I've had guys tell me, I'm mad at God. Mm-hmm. Well, my response to that is, okay, well, let's look at this. There's God and there's you. Let's look at what God has done for you and what you have done for God. And let's see who should be mad. So, tit for tat,
We're going to get into that.
Okay, so we cut them down.
yeah, we messing with your credit. Sorry.
So,
Blame your family members, though.
nah. So what we got to do in order to build this connection is you must go to God directly. That's the best. That's the best option to go with. And the story of I think it's Jehoshaphat or something. Jehoshaphat. That's the scripture on the screen. I read that today and I was shocked. So this armies were coming to get him, coming to kill his army. They were outnumbered 3-1. That's talking about the odds. So the first thing he did was he got on his knees and prayed to God 3 points. He prayed 2 things. He said, Are you not God? Are you not the God who created the earth? Are you not the God who gave us the power and dominion over these animals? That's what he asked. Then he asked him, did you not? Did you not is when he asked, like, he was remembering, like you said, all the things that God has done for you. Like, you remember the things that God has done for you. You like start thinking about that. Like, what has God done for me? And when that sets in, and you realize that he's done more than you.
Right.
Yeah. The last point is, will you not? So will you not, then you ask God, will you not defeat these demons again? Because he's done it before. As you see in point 2, did you not? He's already done it. Are you not going to do it again and again and again? Like, are you going to let these demons come and throw you off, God? Because they're mocking you when they mock me.
Come on, God.
All right, now.
Because since we're a product of God, like they say, after we fall too far from the tree, if they're mocking us, they're mocking God.
Right.
So when you walking in the street and people doubting on you, saying you're wearing the baggy sweats and you got on what is it, a knockoff polo or something, and it's true, like y'all are mocking me. Good God, you letting them mock you? Will you not shut these people up? Like, you ask them, have a real conversation. You don't have to be scared because he's God. If that's your best friend, like we call them today, our terms are mans. If that's your mans, like hold him accountable for it. Like, will you not shut these people up? So that's the third thing we have to go to. And that's, if you want to open up a discussion on that, we can. If anybody wants to. Because it's almost over. I'm almost done.
You know what? That goes back to what we talked about a track record.
Right. Which is what
We talked about the Old Testament. Whenever God did something, he wrote it down. This is where God did this here. God did this here. God did this there. And you have a track record. And in our own lives, we need to remember our track record.
Oh.
On the highway. Go ahead, David.
Oh, and I really suggest reading this passage because after he went directly to God, because he's outnumbered 3-1. You got 3 people ready to jump you. Your chances of winning are very slim. So since he went to God directly, if you read it, the next day or that day, an angel or a spirit came to him and said, "You don't even have to fight this battle.
Wow.
God got you. You just come to this spot, you get on your knees with your people, and you pray. That's all you got to do. God got your back. Like, you don't even got to do anything. They did nothing, and they won the battle."
You know, the other thing I thought about is, what's the prophet that was at the brook and the raven was bringing them food?
Elijah with the J.
Yeah, Elijah. So, you know, I know he felt lonely. I mean, I know he felt lonely. And he's exactly what you said. This is exactly what he said. Prior to that, he had, and this, everything's encompassed in that really, because prior to that, he had went against the prophets of Baal and had poured water on and had just completely obliterated them. God had showed up in a gigantic, huge way.
Yes.
And then
Jezebel,
she swelled up on him and he's jetted.
Like Bob said, how you, what's it called, test anxiety?
Test anxiety.
So they have 3-1. They have a big army, 3 different armies at one coming together at them. And they lost, everybody around them was probably thinking, I was thinking that if I were there, like, oh my God, we better start get the guns ready, load up the walls, we're not ready for this, like they about to come at us. And since he's so connected, since he had the Wi-Fi and the connection, his first thing was to submit to God and say, God, are you not the Lord? Did you not do this before? And will you not do it again? Do it again, Lord. And while everybody else is going around him haywire, everybody going crazy because they know that 3 armies coming to kill him, he kept his head and he did the first move at that moment when he knew that they were coming. Like the first thing was he got on his knees and prayed and told God. He didn't ask him. He told him, "Are you not?"
So can you imagine what that must have looked like? So in the second when you got your enemy 3-1 on one side of the line and you on the other side of the line. So not only is your enemy taunting you, but your own boys that are with you are probably saying, on your knees, you better come on another walk. We got a battle to fight. And he drops on his knees. What he must have heard those guys say. You can't listen to them. And they got saved. They won the battle in spite of their own doubt. I can't imagine that I have to read it. Maybe they got on their knees too. And if so, for all the better. That would have been great. But how people operate in today's time, your buddies that are with you start doubting you. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Nothing in the face of doubt means everybody around you. Your parents, siblings, everybody that you asking for, like, hey.
Come on, now that's it.
Everybody keep on doubting you. That's why God should be your first resort. Because everybody that you asking for help, doubting you. Everybody around you is doubting you. You're the only one. It's you and God. But you think you're lonely because you think God abandoned you. So you really are lonely. Until you get that connection. When you get that connection, that'll be your first resort. When that's your first resort, and you ask him these 3 points when something goes up, you don't have to do a thing, but let God handle.
Oh, I gotta say something. I gotta say this. This gets exciting. Patrick knows from being a first basketball. The beautiful thing, Brian, is when you're a babe in Christ, the first thing he does when you get connection is he shows how powerful he is. That's the first thing he does. When you have a Wi-Fi power connection, he's got to do something supernatural for you so that you won't doubt him when you go through the next trial. So it's going to be something so big. So you ever see Christians when they first come to God, they have the first encounter. They are on so far, you got to say, man, calm down.
That's true. They hardly tolerate it.
They walk with the Bible in their hand. Look, you read, they're on fire. It's almost like, it's almost like they joining Amway. You coming to the meeting. I'm serious. You can't shut them up. You can't stop them from talking.
They want to show you the plans.
You're like, you're into the same music as the club we last week. And no, the Lord, that's because when you first have your first, are you not, did you not, will you not? And he said, yes, I am. And he does something for you. It blows your mind.
And he usually does something with something that prior to you knowing him, you thought it was impossible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's no way I can get out of this.
No way. Humanly possible.
How?
No how. And he does the impossible.
And he takes you to a whole nother level.
Have you learned about that thing?
Not at all.
He does the impossible. And when he does the impossible, Daniel, that's when, it's almost when you become a veteran or you got experience, it wears off because he's longer silent. There's longer silent periods that you go through. But when you're a neophyte, he has to do something miraculous for you because he has to be God. He is God all the time. He's never stopped being God. I circled it right here and read one time, and I'll let you go back on Daniel. Feeling lonely. God is usually silent to us when we are on a trial, said Daniel. Then you skip down. Most of us would just like God to come down and simply tell us what to do in the situation.
Amen.
Silence never means that God is not there. Silence is a test of obedience. And you said last but not least, a decision is based on the sufficient knowing of his will. We without excuse tonight after hearing this. I'm sorry, go ahead, David.
Oh, I'm ready to close. This is like I'm just going to end it on something I found that my mom reminded me of. It's in Mima's house. It's called Footprints in the Sand. If you know what it is, you probably all know what it is. But when I was going through studying this topic, and my mom told me about it, and I read it for myself, and I could see the words. It actually had several connections. So one night, I dreamed I was walking along the beach with the Lord. Many scenes from my life flashed across the sky. In each scene, I noticed footprints in the sand. Sometimes there were 2 sets of footprints. Other times, there was only one. Or there was one only. This bothered me because I noticed that during the low periods of my life, when I was suffering from anguish, sorrow, and defeat, I could not only see one set of footprints, or I could only see one set of footprints. So I said to the Lord, you promised me, Lord, that if I followed you, you will walk with me always. But I noticed that during the most trying periods of my life, there's only been one set of footprints in the sand. Why? When I needed you most, have you not been there for me? The Lord replied, the years when you have only seen one set of footprints, my child, is when I was carrying you, or when I carried you.
Amen.
Let me read that again. The Lord replies, the years when you have only seen one set of footprints, my child, is when I carried you. So, through all, if you make a connection, when you're going through those trials, and everything, and after you say the 3 points, you actually had, most of the time, he's carrying you. You're not even doing it. He's carrying you. You're straight during your trials and tribulations. When you think you have to make the decisions and do all the work, he's actually carrying you and feeding you like a baby. If you were an infant, 1 year old, and your mom said, here you go, here goes your spoon and your bowl, and that's your applesauce. Feed yourself, and you're trying to figure out how to do it. You don't even know what that means. God is baby feeding you. We think it's like a 1 year old trying to feed himself. God is carrying you. So that's just the thing that I made a connection to when I was talking.
You know what's funny? Daniel said that he got that from where?
From your mother.
My mother's house. And I'm trying to hold back the tears in my eyes because the one thing I'm looking at is when I see that, when my mother we buried my mother, the very first thing we did before we left the cemetery, while everybody was driving back to the repast, me and Valerie went straight to the cemetery place to order a headstone. And Patrick, the reason why I'm trying to hold the tears back is because I remember my mother saying, and it's on her tombstone. And it says, it's just me and you, Lord. It's me and you. My mother understood the footprint so well that she realized, even though she had a great cloud of friends around her that constantly checked on her, that battle was with her and with God. It wasn't with, no matter how many people were around her, the only person she could count on was God.
That's it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well done. Daniel, that was
Well done, Daniel. Well done.